Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper and I'm back for Gerda Steiner Designs, and today I'm guest designing and sharing one of the new sets called Go Wild. So what I want to do here is create a clean and simple design, but by using one of the images out of the set. So I'm using the giraffe image here and actually repeated stamping it, and I'm going to use the one image over and over to create a fun design on this card. So what I'm doing is actually stamping out 5 of the images first, because odd numbers always look better, and I'm colouring it with my Copic markers. Now this is mostly real-time colouring today, so you'll hear me blabbing on a bit about what I'm doing, but that's okay. You can always turn the volume down if you don't want to hear me talking. But I have put the colour, like all the lids of the colours, off to the left so you can see which colours I'm using. And what I've done is, if I haven't coloured an image before, sometimes I find it a little bit, you know, you think it's going to be a certain way, but it actually colours differently to what you think. So by the time I finished the 5th image, I got this down pat for sure. But I did sort of fuss around with this first one a little bit until I got a feel for the actual image. But I used my lighter colour initially first, then on the face, and then I added some depth with the darker, but I did the total opposite on the neck of the giraffe. I don't know why. So I add my darker shade and then come back in with my lighter shade and draw the colour out again, and I do that a couple of times, and then just simply with the markings on the giraffe, I just simply laid down one layer of colour. And that was with quite a dark brown. I did keep it fairly true to giraffe colours. I was sort of toying with the idea of doing like a rainbow of giraffes. I think that would be really fun too. Maybe I might make that card another day. So one thing I often do to add more depth is actually coming, or if I'm not really happy with my colours or my colouring, I'll come in with my Prismacolor pencils after and add some shadowing or some depth with those, and I find that that works really well. They're a really good mix, but you can't use your pencils first because they're a wax base. You won't be able to add your Copic over top. So today's stamps that I'm using, Go Wild, is actually, it's a sneak peek of a great new set that's coming out really soon. I'm really lucky to get to share this with you today, so keep an eye out for that. Also, I have another card over at the blog using a Party Animals set that is already available, and totally heaps of fun too. I know you're going to love it. It's a very different card to this one. So the link will be in the description below. Head on over there. Now for each of these giraffes, I did fussy cut them out, leaving a small white border. I thought I'd include that because it is a little bit fiddly, but fussy cutting just takes practice. It's actually not hard to do. This is real-time fussy cutting. I haven't sped this up at all, so this is how long it actually takes me to do this. And if you'll take note, I'm not actually moving my scissors. I really am just keeping them facing forward. I'm focusing my eyes on the image where I want to go rather than where I've been, if that makes sense. So if I look along the image where I'm going to cut to, I find that I can fussy cut a lot neater. So I do that 5 times. And I won't make you sit through all that. You thought I was going to, didn't you? The sentiment comes from the same set. I've got 2 different colour VersaFine inks. This is the Vintage Sepia, which is a real cool brown colour. And I thought it'd be fun to sort of mix up the colours on the stamp. So I've actually just put the ink on half, and I eyeballed it. I didn't rule it, measure it, anything like that. I just actually guessed. And then I've come along with the black ink and added that to the top, and I wasn't worried about the inks mixing. They're a nice strong ink and they'll be fine. I can just stamp it off if I'm worried about that, or give it a really light white, but I didn't even bother because I did the lighter colour first. I did the brown first. Now I did decide to pop the giraffes up. These are some 1mm foam dots, so they're not very high off the card. I thought if I did them a bit too high, they'd look a bit funny. So I simply just cut the dots to the size that I needed them, added them to all the giraffes, and I didn't press down hard initially because that just gives me a little bit of wiggle room. I can come and sort of lift up the giraffe and move it around if I want. But I did sort of have them placed how I wanted anyway, so it wasn't a real drama. They're pretty easy to sort of adhere down. I think they look really cute, like a family of giraffes just hanging off the bottom of the card. So once that was done, I simply flipped the card over. I've got a nice long straight sharp pair of scissors, and I can just run that along the edge of the card and cut as I go, and that works perfectly for cutting off any edge bits that you might have hanging off. And I did have to extend one giraffe neck with my Copic multiliner because I set it too high on the card. So that's it for me today. I hope you've had heaps of fun. I'll see you over at the blog. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.